everybody. My name's Adam Spencer. I am Executive Vice President of Corporate Development for Montage Gold. It's great to be here. So I'm going to give you a high-level summary of what Montage is and what the plans are for Montage for the next 12 months. And I think the key takeaway is that we're going to be very busy. It's going to be an exciting year for Montage. But as a starting point, so where are we located? So we are in the Ivory Coast. Our flagship asset is the Koné Gold Project, which is a large-scale, long-life, very simple open-pit development project, now with what we think is exceptional exploration upside. Just direct you to take a look at the disclaimers on our website for this presentation. And so a bit more detail. So Montage, the long story here is that it was the asset that's now Koné was actually staked as part of Redback Mining. And so this asset and its team goes back to those roots, and it's led by Rick Clark and Hugh Stewart, who are responsible for building Redback Mining into what it was when it was bought by Kinross. And they've had other successes in Africa over the years, including most recently the sale of Orca Gold to Perseus in 2022. So the point being is that these guys are experts. They've made shareholders a lot of money over the years. And it's all about capital formation. It's all about finding really good assets and advancing things in the right way. And that's exactly what we're going to do with Montage. And so, Côte d'Ivoire as a jurisdiction, very stable government, easy place to work, very pro-mining. And if you look in country, we have what is presently the largest scale undeveloped gold project in that country, which in our view has a natural fit within kind of any intermediate or major that is either operating in or interested in operating in West Africa. You'll see there at the bottom that we do have some notable shareholders: Perseus, VRIC, Endeavour, the Lundin Group, and Sandstorm Gold. So a bit more on the team, as I said, led by Rick Clark and Hugh Stewart. You can see our board there and the rest of the management team. I won't go into too much detail here, but I think you can rest assured with an investment in Montage that it is being led by people that have been responsible for significant successes in the mining space. We have no trouble attracting capital. We are very strong, supportive shareholders. And, as I said, that's the plan with Montage. Capital structure is very clean and simple. 160 million shares outstanding. Market cap is about Canadian 120 million at the present time. Well funded for our aggressive drill program, which I will get into. And so this is a bit more detail on where we're positioned. So we're in kind of northwest Côte d'Ivoire in, a prolific gold belt. If you look at the map there's about 25 million ounces of gold in terms of current resources or past production. Notably, you have the Tongon mine, which is an operation of VRIC. You have Perseus' Sisingwe mine, Endeavour's Wonyan mine, and then Fortuna's Séguéla mine to the south of us. And so you see the two stars there. So Koné, it's a 4.3 million ounce total resource. And we completed a feasibility study on that project in February of last year. 15-year mine life, all-in sustaining costs of $933 per ounce, with production potential in excess of 200,000 ounces over those 15 years. And so that on its own is a significant achievement, but it's always been part of our plan to make it better. And by making it better, what that means to us is to demonstrate even more exploration upside. And so if you look at this map here, essentially all of those anomalies to the north of Koné were held within a joint venture of VRIC and Endeavour, which dates back to the Randgold days. And within that land package, VRIC and Endeavour had been searching for, a major tier 1 discovery. And so they've identified a number of target areas which are highly relevant to the Koné project, and we were successful in acquiring that asset package from VRIC and Endeavour late last year. And so we started drilling it ourselves for the first time in December of 2022. We just put out initial drill results. But I think you can agree here that the potential of this ground is very significant when you look at some of those intercepts. We have a lot of areas where we're grading over 2 grams per ton across material widths. And the plan here is very simple. Drill this ground aggressively with a view of adding as much material at 1.5 grams or higher as we can to the Koné Gold Project, because you look at Koné, the economics are very strong. The growth profile at Koné is around 0.7 of a gram life of mine. It benefits from economies of scale, low strip ratio, soft rock. But when you start to sequence in material 1.5 grams, 2 grams, that's 3 to 4x the average grade, the economic impact can be quite significant. We already have a good head start there with Gbongogo. You can see on the map, it's 350,000 ounces at 2.1 grams. The objective with that deposit is to drill it out aggressively, see how big it can get, and advance it to an indicated resource stage so that it can be incorporated in a revised feasibility study that we plan on issuing by the end of 2023. And then all the while test out this broader district, which probably has upwards of 20 drill targets now. We've been working the ground aggressively for the last few months, identifying new areas. We have 3 rigs that are currently drilling. And the aim is to put out, consistent, regular news flow, testing as many of these targets as we can, and we'll see if we can incorporate more targets than just Gbongogo in this revised feasibility study. A bit more detail on Gbongogo. I think it's worth noting that, the 350,000 ounce resource was really based on just 6,000 meters of drilling. And when you think about that, that's not a lot, but with significant grade, as it shows, you can add up ounces fairly quickly. And I think it's worth pointing out that if we were to, start drilling that from scratch today, the replacement cost of that drilling would only be around $1 million, whereas based on our internal scoping analysis, that deposit at its current size and grade would add about $200 million in NPV to the Koné project as it stands. So, the return on investment for exploration for us is quite dramatic, given that we do have the large-scale, low-cost Koné deposit as a base to build off of. Here's a bit more detail. You can see there on the aerial photo on the right-hand side, the Gbongogo resource area. The lines of blue show dots where we're going to be drilling air core. There's actually the area to the south, Gbongogo South, has some notable trench results which are shown on the next page, but our view here is that this has significant scope to expand beyond the initial 350,000 ounce resource, and as I said, our aim is to demonstrate that as quickly as possible this year. And just zooming out a little bit more, you can see again, where the Gbongogo resource sits. It's in a broader trend that's now kind of traced across 15 kilometers with numerous prospects there, several of which we've started to drill, and others that have received historic drilling, pitting, or trenching that are all very encouraging, certainly warrant additional follow-up. And the key takeaway here is that we have a lot of target areas, we have a budget to spend on drilling, and we're going to see how big this can get and really transform this project. Here's another area with which, if you saw our last press release, certainly returned a very surprise drill result from an area called Lekolo Main, where we returned 20 meters at 7 grams. This is a very unexplored area. The trend is around 17 kilometers to strike. We were just on this ground a couple weeks ago, and there's lots of active artisanal areas, which are a great kind of first pass tool to identify where you should be, putting a rig and testing out some drill targets. But again, just to reiterate, this is a big land package. We have the starting point with Koné. We have, upwards of 20 drill targets to test, and we're going to be very busy doing that this year. That's really the summary. I guess I didn't say how much drilling we're planning on doing. Right now, the program is 25,000 meters. Obviously, with drill success, we'll look to expand that. And, I did say that we're going to be putting out the economic study by the end of the year. Pretty straightforward story. I would encourage you to take a look at our website for more detail on the feasibility study if you're interested. We also do keep a very detailed exploration presentation with lots of sections and maps for those that are interested. But I'll probably stop it there and look forward to maybe catching up with some more of you at my booth.